Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. Forgive me, I got myself a little bit of a head cold, but that's not going to stop me from showing you what's in this bag, because I don't say this very often, but I'm telling you, what I'm about to pull over here will be on my arm all the time. That's saying something for a guy who's got just about every watch you can get. This is going to be, without even looking at it, one of the top 5 watches I own. Yeah, someday I will do a list. I'll let you know. I really like the big one, that DM98, LEM4. They're both kind of similar. That's really a nice watch. I wear that one a lot. This one, yeah, this one is worth the wait. Actually, we've all been waiting for this. We've been waiting almost 4 months for this. I'm about to put a sign on the church, waiting for my watch. This is English. It is in English. Are you starting to know which one I'm talking about? The one that's only been available in Chinese. The one we've actually already reviewed, but I can't do anything with because it's in Chinese. It's kind of icon driven, so that works. But no, I have been waiting. I have been really waiting for the Amazfit PACE. Oh my goodness, it's here. Thank you, Geekbuying. These guys came through. It's been really hard to get. I mean, really, it's come on and gone, but it's back. It's the English version of this XIAOMI Amazfit PACE Smart sport watch. I'm just too excited. I got to get into it. But let's look at the specs first. I know we got to cover everything. This does a lot. I have it sitting by the desk, the old one, the Chinese one, and practically every day I touch the button and look for a firmware update. And they've been really good about putting about 1 or 2 a week out, constantly adding features and stuff to it. And every time it does it, my heart goes pitter-patter, and I check to see if they've added English as a language, and no. They apparently have decided, instead of updating the Chinese version of the Amazfit PACE to English, they are going to do it by releasing it separately, which is what we have in this really nice box. Well, I can't get into it, so let's look at it. And like I said, they're adding things to it all the time. They are constantly doing firmware updates, I imagine, on this one as well. And this one has that distribution within the United States. No idea what these barcodes are, but they might be something I shouldn't show you, so there we go. Looks like I have to unseal it from below. Sorry for going off camera, everybody, but I got to get my fingers on this. There! Got the lid open. I don't want to destroy it. I'm ready to. And we pull it out. This will be one of your top 5 smartwatches as well. Oh yeah, remember that? Move beautifully. That was the first thing I saw on the other one. It was English. I thought we were home free. But no. That was fun though. That was a fun journey into dream space, using the Google Translator app to try to make a review. Come on, release, let it go. Okay, it's coming out. There we go. There we go. Oh my goodness. Now, it's available in the same orange that you saw the other one in, but of course I wanted to get a contrasting color, so 1, I could tell them apart, and 2, you could see the differences. This is one of the best, oh, I love it. Oh, one of the best designed little things you've ever seen. Removable bands, no issues with antennas. Oh, we're going to have fun with this. But wait, there's more. There's the little charging cradle. Remember that thing that snaps on the back? You have to line it up just right. There's a little tab here, goes there, and it clicks in the space. There you go. And you plug your USB, which is probably what's over in here, in there. Yep. Very nice packaging. Look at the attention. I mean, this is high-end. This is stuff you'll find at all those expensive places like Apple stores, Samsung stores, Amazfit stores. It's got its own little English reference guide. Finally! Here we go. Download the Amazfit Watch app. Good. There's the charging thing. We're going to turn it on. Connect Bluetooth to the app. Yeah. Navigate your watch, enabling Wi-Fi. All right. Update the latest firmware. Okay, we're going to have to check the firmware for sure. And the rest of the stuff. This side, more English. It's all English. It said on the front, English. So I don't even think this is going to have Chinese. This is purely for the English-speaking market. Well, they're in the right place because we're the English-speaking smartwatch tics website thing, YouTube. Okay, more information. And safety notices, technical specifications, and warranty information. All right. I think we have exhausted everything in the box. We have got the charger, we have got the thing on the back, and I'm going to put it back together, charge it up, and then we'll come back and play. See you in a moment. Okay, it's all charged up. I've really been waiting for this moment. I didn't want to turn it on without you seeing it with me, because if you remember the Chinese version, it was like way cool when we turned it on. It's a transreflective screen, remember, so I got to try to make it just right with the background light and the foreground light. But let's hit that power button, hold it, and see what it does. Here comes the screen. There's the A. It's a color screen now, mind you. That's true of these new transreflective watches. We've only seen 2 in the market so far. This Amazfit watch, and we've got another one called an SMA Time out there that also uses a transreflective screen. There you go. There's that fancy twirling design that we saw on the original Chinese version. I think they're identical watches. They just decided to throw English in one and Chinese in the other and keep them separate and divide the market up. So you're not shipping one watch to all the markets that has all the languages like we typically do in a smartwatch. I guess they're going to be country specific. Now, I haven't heard if there's going to be a release in any other languages. There will be a link in the show notes for the Amazfit website. It's got this watch has its own website and own following as well. So check that out if you're from a country that has a language different than Chinese or English, and see if they are going to be supporting you. It does take a long time. I'm going to play with it in the background there just so you see when you get it just right in the light. Look how cool that can be. There. It goes fast and slow. There's dots flying. I'm waiting for somebody, Andrew, to make a watch face out of this. How are you going to make it go fast and slow like that? Let's see. You have to somehow incrementally change the rotate command over time and then change it again, or do you use arcs and circles? Wow. Anyway, it would be really fun to see a watch face with this kind of technology. It'd be fun to see a compass like this and have that middle part be the actual compass style. I know, I am wasting your time here, but it really is fun when it boots up. Oh, it just vibrated. That's a good indicator. Something's happening. I might edit a lot of this out. We'll see. Oh, there we go. Finally. And there is the quintessential, whatchamacallit, QR code that needs to be scanned so that you can put the Amazfit Watch app on your phone, because you're going to need to tether this puppy before you can go any further. So I'll do that, and then we'll come back and we'll really run this thing through its paces. Well, first of all, it took a long time to figure out how to basically get this thing running. From the barcode that you saw, you first have to scan that, download the app, and put it in your phone. From inside the app, you have to go into a place where you scan the barcode from in the app to the watch to get the two of them to tether. And only after that does the watch go past that barcode. You basically have a useless dead watch until and unless you get the app and install it and use the barcode that's sitting on the screen as the connection to tether to the watch and the phone, the two together. Crazy, but that's how it works. I think that's how it was on the Chinese one as well, and I know it was very complicated to figure out. We'll cover that later, but I want to jump in so you can actually see what this thing looks like and does. Now, I got great news for those of you who got the Chinese watch. This one right here, in a little bit, I'm going to show you side by side so you can see English compared to the page in Chinese, so you can get your little notebook out and write down what all those things, these icons, mean in English. All right? And I got some great news for those of you who are thinking about the English one, because it's not a match perfectly. The firmware on the Chinese one has been updated more than on the English one. And so you're going to see the future of this watch in this watch from some of the latest firmware updates that I'm sure are going to roll out for this one. So let's start right here. When you look at the display, it's totally frozen. You're not able to do anything. You can't move it, shake it, or otherwise activate it other than pressing the button on the side. You literally have to press the button. Now watch the watch face. When I press it, it changes slightly, and now it's activated. And if you don't touch it again for a few seconds, it'll go back into that frozen appearance there. Now, it's telling the time. Everything's there, and the data that you see is updated as necessary. It's just that it's not operative. So I got to move through this quickly and show you these screens. Otherwise, it will revert back to here, and we got to go through them all again. So I press for a second. I activate it. I swipe down. And now I've got the weather, and the location is under my thumb as determined by GPS and or by connecting to your phone in tethering mode and getting the data from the phone, okay? If you slide to the right, then you get your battery information. It says I have 1 day and 4 hours since I turned it on or charged it up last. I'm at 82%. Oh, don't go away. I have 28 hours and 163 minutes left on battery in this watch. Pretty cool. I come over here. I've got a silence mode that I can just turn on and off. Notifications will not be silent. I will get them. Here, it's silent mode. I don't get any notifications. And finally, I get into more settings. Now, when you connect on more, you get all these things. Here's where you do your Bluetooth. Well, let's go all the way to the top. Find my phone. If I press that button, it's going to make a sound on the phone. I don't know if I'm tethered or not. Let's see. I got the phone right here. Phone not found. Okay, there's not connected right now, but that's what would happen. It would make noise from the phone. Bluetooth is where we have our overall Bluetooth connection, and it's searching to look for its host. This is Wi-Fi, and what's really wild is you don't put in your Wi-Fi router information in the watch. I got to keep moving or it's going to go back. If you're Bluetooth tethered to your phone and your phone is on your router, when you tap this, it will connect through your phone to your router, passing all that password information directly, I guess, to the watch. Silent mode is off, and I think this is the same thing. Oh no, auto do not disturb or start times. All right, this is where you set up sequential times of when you want to go silent, a start and an end period, which is different than the silent that we saw with the one button push. Here's the thing where you can mess around with the backlighting. If you want to save on battery, then you can turn it off. You have an auto mode, you have when it's unlocked only, or always on. Now, always on isn't really always on. It's always on if you move the watch. So it's got that sensor, and as soon as you turn the watch, it will turn on, but it will go off. And you can literally turn it off completely like that. And now the backlight is off, you see? But I'm going to turn it always on. And there, it came back on. So you're getting the benefit of this light that I have shining down on here now to give us transreflectivity and the backlighting that's lit up at the same time. Tap to wake on is on, and that means, I believe if it's off, you can tap the button to turn on the light. Now let's try that. If we can get the light to go off. I think it's on right now. It's a trick between, there you go, between motion sensor and tapping. Oh, see, it went on when I, is it off? Let's tap it. There, see it light up? Anyway, that's the tap to wake. I have it on and seems to be working great. Vibrate. You have 3 different ranges of vibration. There's really weak, and I wish you could feel this, but we haven't figured out how to do that on YouTube. There's medium, and I like it strong, good and strong. You can really feel it vibrate. Here's a wear habit. This is to determine if you're going to wear it on your left or your right wrist. And I presume that makes a difference for some reason. I'm a lefty as far as wearing my watch, so I'm going to have it there. Here's where we do the update, the software update, which we're going to check in just a little bit. Here's a factory reset to reset the whole watch. And then your power off. You know, these are all icon driven. And once you learn these icons, you can pretty much use the Chinese watch if you need to. And then about. So we're in the Amazfit PACE. There's our model number, our ROM number, 1.3.0, our serial number, our total storage, 2.56 gigs with free 2 gigs of free space, but I don't know what I can put in there. I guess music. I don't think I can put in apps, but hey, you never know. Okay, so that's the about stuff. And then you can report an error. However, when you go in here, it's going to generate a report, and then I think it just sends it out. Now, I don't have an error to report, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so you have all these things here under settings, right? And you swipe to the left to bring it back home. Okay, now if I swipe up from the bottom, it's going to give me any notifications that are waiting for me. Right now I have none, so it just says no item. If I swipe to the left, I'm going to get some stuff. We'll come back to that. I'm going to swipe to the right, meaning from right to left, and I get the total steps that I've walked today. I think my goal, is 8,000. I've walked over half of those. And if I go one more, I've got a track of my heart rate. These are incremental readings that I took manually with a check now button. And that's when I was out there really working and moving, and I got up pretty high. So that's pretty good. Here's my actual history, date and time and heart rate in a list format. And I can turn on continuous heart rate if I want to, and it'll do that. It'll accumulate continuous heart rate. Okay, that's the heart rate. Then I have the music player. I can press that and play any music that I've got. And down below, it looks like volumes settings, so you can crank up the volume. That means, folks, there's a speaker in here, right? If you can play music, I'm presuming. There looks like a microphone, but I don't know. Maybe that's a speaker port. Haven't played the music yet, but we have that. And then you swipe again. See all the dots across the top? We have alarms. I can add an alarm. I can edit the time, do a repeat, opened, delete, all those things for a new alarm. I can look at the alarm list, and there's an alarm for 8:30 and another one for 9, and they are both off. Okay, so pretty simple and straightforward. Go over to the right again, and here's an overall weather forecast for my location, which is under the thumb, and it tells you what the conditions are going to be in terms of temperature and the sunlight and cloudiness, all that kind of stuff. Swipe again, I get this cool compass. Now check this out. It really works. It really works. And if it needs calibration, it's going to come up and say to rotate the watch around kind of like this, and it'll go into calibration mode. But, I mean, it's accurate. And where it's pointing to the bottom of the camera right now is north. So 0 degrees is that way. Works really fast, really good. Nice compass. Yes! I started this yesterday, and I wanted to see what happens when it gets to 24 hours. Does it start over, or does it accumulate? So there you go. I have got, and I'm going to make a lap right there, and there's the lap time. And it's a running stopwatch, and I don't know, I guess 99 hours, or maybe it'll go to 100, who knows? But it definitely goes longer than 1 day. So if you want to just test your battery, as soon as you take it off the charger, start your stopwatch. And as you run it all the way down, you'll have an accumulative total of how many hours, minutes, seconds your watch has run before you charge it again. And then we've got a sleep thing that lets you check your history. And I have not slept with this yet, but if I do, Mrs. Tix lets me, I will have some sleep data. Maybe we'll do a report on that, or at least tell you about it in the show notes down below. So those are all the dots that you see across the top. Those are all the different entries of things that have been added incrementally in this old one. I mean, every week or so it's being updated, and it's adding new things, from the compass to the clock to all of that stuff. Now this is cool. I'm on the compass, and it's not going back to the default clock mode. So some of these will hold where they are and stay there, which is nice if you want. Otherwise, you can press the button and go right back to the clock. So we know if we press and hold the button and swipe down and swipe to the right, we're going to get like 3 different panes. If we press and hold the button and we swipe, I keep saying it backwards, you're swiping to the left to move to the right, you get all those panes we just saw. And the last thing is this long menu you're going to get here on the left, and I'm about to show you that. And swiping up, we said, was notifications. Okay, press and hold, we got that, or press briefly, we've got that. Now I switch over to here. And now we're in this quintessential sports mode. Now check it out. You can do a run, a walk, you can run indoors in place, you can do a trail run, which takes things into 3D. Then you have activities, and you have settings. Let's go into settings first, because I want to show you this. In the settings, you have all these different alerts that the alarm can tell you about. If you're doing some form of laps, you can turn a lap alert on. This I love, the heart rate alert. You can come in here and set a heart rate number that you would like it to vibrate on your wrist when your heart rate exceeds that setting. And every one of these workouts turns on the heart rate, and continuously is monitoring your heart rate. So if you exceed your limit, you will get an alarm. You can have a target time alarm if you want to go for a half hour. You can have a target distance if you want to go for in miles. Notice that. Unfortunately, you don't have a lot of increment miles, so you can do 1 mile, 2 miles, that kind of stuff, and you can turn that alarm on. You have a pace alert, where you can have your feet and inches in a pace that you're running, and it'll alarm if you're not in your pace, when it's below 6 feet, 0 inches, in this case of pace. And then you have your data screens selector, which is where you're going to determine whether you want to see 4 data fields or 6 when you're actually using the watch in the workout mode. With that said, there's a couple of things you need to know about. When you actually activate one of these settings to go into, you're going to see a certain kind of display. When you're done, you're going to see a different kind of display. The display you see when you're done is what you're going to see in the activities. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to show you this one. I did today a walk, and the walk was a total distance of 1 mile. I had the thing set to alarm me. Total times was 1. Calories burned was 86. Yeah, let's see where it'll go. Okay, scroll down, and I get a little bit of information here. This is the actual event. So this is like a cumulative total, and this is the sequential events. This is the date and time. I touch on it, and I now go over to that display. It shows a walking. It actually shows a GPS map, unfortunately not against any kind of a map, but the track. It shows you the track that I walked. It shows you all this information, time and distance and things, pace time, calories burned, average miles per hour, maximum speed, and then your heart rate chart. So I got almost up to my, oh, come on, camera focus. I got almost up to my peak of 135 that I had it set to notify me if I had exceeded it. So that information is available here in your displays, and that's just for that one. If I had another one and another one, they would appear underneath here, and it would tell you when you go into it what kind of an activity, if it was walking or running or any of these others. Okay? That's the activities. When you actually do one of these, let's go into that walk. I get in here to start it. And now it's going to attempt to acquire GPS. And if I'm outdoors, you see this little thing going around here. If I'm outdoors under the clear blue sky, it goes fairly quickly and then suddenly circles all the way around, says it's got good GPS, and at that point, it'll give me a countdown. 3, 2, 1, and I feel it vibrating. So I don't even have to watch the watch. I can have a swig of water, tie my shoes, get everything ready. When I feel the watch starting to vibrate, I got the countdown. When it goes off, boom, I'm off and running or walking or whatever. No, so it's not getting the GPS, which is okay. You see that skip button? When you're doing, I guess, the indoor run or whatever, if you get into this mode and you just want to skip it, you can hit that button. I was wondering if it's going to automatically skip or not. You notice the display has a little flat tire there, and it was just right at it. Okay, GPS is unavailable. Then you have to retry it in an open space, or you skip it. And if you skip it, it's beeping and counting, and then it starts. So you get this first display that's showing you your accumulation of miles, elapsed time, calories burned, your heart rate in beats per minute, and all these other pieces of data, and your GPS route if you have GPS. That's the first pane. You see there's 3 little dots up here. To the left, you can pause or continue. Please end the exercise first. I'm going to say resume. Okay, we're on the middle one. And if I go to the right, you have the music player, so you can start playing your music. So that's what's available to you when you're actually doing a workout. Now, when the screen times out of you being able to touch it and goes into its default frozen mode, hello, there you go. You get this display if you have it set for 6 pieces of information. This gets complex, but it's worth watching because, especially if you have the Chinese ones, this is where we always got confused. What are we looking at? Time at the top, the actual clock time. Elapsed time here. Calories burned, distance walked, and there's your heart rate. Now, what's really cool about the heart rate, as it goes through the different zones, at the bottom below here, it'll tell you if you're anaerobic, if you're too high. Hey, all right, GPS is finally available. It'll tell us that, and it vibrated. And then it'll come back into the display. There you go. See, fat burning. I'm at 84. I'm not even touching it. And it says I'm in my fat burning zone. Then you have average speed and speed. So those are the 6 items that are currently listed under the walking tab. Now I'm going to break out of here. I'm going to stop. And I'm going to throw it away. But it won't let me. I stop and I cancel it. And it won't let me. That's a problem on the other one. It looks like you're forced to save it. I'm going to go down here to settings. I'm going to come down here to data screens. And I'm going to change those to 4 data fields. And I'm going to come back up out of here to the run again because I don't want to change items for you. And I'm going to skip the GPS. Oh, look at that. Did you see how it was going around fast? I should have let it go because it's got GPS right now. Anyway, here we are. Now I'm going to press the button and resume. But I need to get out of this so that it goes back. So I'll just wait for it to time out. And there we go. Come on, come back to my other display. Maybe it just does it on its own. But when it comes back, and it will come back, I'll show you that the display layout is different. So you have different elements you can put on there. Now in the app, if I recall, you have the ability to go and rearrange or add and subtract from those. There you go. So now we're only showing the elapsed time, the distance, the calories burned, and your fat burning heart rate, or whatever the thing is down at the bottom. So if you don't need all the other data and you'd like a little bit bigger digits, you have that flexibility to change it to 4 instead of 6. A lot of work just to show you that. I'm pressing the button, coming over here and stopping and exiting, and I sure wish I could, but I can't. So I'm out of here so I can show you quickly the run layout. There, watch the GPS go around. And it's got it, and it's calling it in. Now, it's not showing me a map or giving me coordinates or anything else. It just has the GPS. So it's going to calculate, apparently, your distance from the GPS rather than from, like, pedometer steps. Now we're in run. Run is very similar, except you got a few different things in here. Beats per minute and all of this stuff, okay? GPS route, if you have it, as it's acquiring it, it's showing you just incrementally where you're walking. And again, to the right gives you your music, and to your left is going to let you get out of it. And the last thing is, if I give it a moment for it to break into its full display, you'll see what the 4 elements are in the Run tab, which is different than the 6 elements that you'll get when you go into that mode. There, the backlight just went off, so it should be frozen. Okay, and there you go. And this is only showing 3. Well, it's heart rate because there's no heart rate. I'm not touching it. But you have time, you have distance, and you have pace when you're running, which is different than when we were walking. There, it's getting 75, and I'm not touching it. I'm not happy about that. I wish it would just be 0 or give us an error. Look at that. It's continuing to get some sort of a heart rate that seems relatively reasonable, but there's nothing touching it. So I'm questioning the accuracy of the heart rate, but that hasn't been tested. When you go into stop and save it, the run indoor is kind of just simple, but the trail run, you know what? Before we go into the trail run, I want to go back here and set us back up to the 6 data screens, 6 fields in the data screen, and come back into the trail run, because this gives us the 3-dimensional capability of altitude as well. Now, why that isn't available in the others, I don't know, but it's reserved for when you're doing a trail run. And of course, trailing doesn't imply you're trying to do a pace. You're actually climbing a mountain or something, right? So you have elapsed time and pace. You have your average moving pace, your heart rate, calories. Now you have altitude in feet. You have an elevation gained and lost over your entire time. So if you're going up and down, it can accumulate that. And then you have your vertical speed, your average moving speed, and now your calories or cadence and average cadence, and your GPS route. And I'm pretty sure in the end, you also get an altitude chart as well. So I'm going to leave it alone, let it switch into its full mode, and you'll see what 6 elements are tracked in this mode. Those of you who aren't interested, I know, have left a long time ago. Those of you who care, you will have elevation now and pace, along with altitude, distance, and heart rate against elapsed time. Pretty slick, huh? Well, good morning and welcome back. I know you didn't go anywhere, but I sure did and had a chance to play with this and learn a little bit more. You remember that feature called Tap to Wake? And I thought, well, maybe that just taps to lighten up the screen. It doesn't. When you have Tap to Wake turned on and you have the device off like that, where it's locked, now tapping will actually wake it up. Okay, so that's how that works. And I wanted to show you, what did I want to show you? Here's some more heart rate data that I've collected. And, oh yeah, I wanted to show you over here. I've got some more events, some more activities that I collected for you. So you can see what it actually looks like in the history. This is the total. I got 3 different individual events going on down here. And there they are. 2 of them are hiking. So you get the altitude. So I wanted to show you that you get the track of your route, the GPS track, no map associated with it, but a pretty little picture. You get all these things, including your height information as you go up and down. Okay, there's your elevation change, gain and loss, and maximum altitude, minimum. You have your heart rate chart like we've seen before, and now on this one you also have an altitude chart as well, which is pretty cool. All right, got a couple of those like I said. There's that one, here's another one. Again, the data plot and just some information so you know what you can accumulate on your watch. Again, heart rate and altitude. All right, and I believe we showed you that one already, which was just a 1 mile walk, walk, I guess. This was the walk. And it just shows your heart rate. You don't get any altitude on that. Okay, that's in your activities. That's where it's accumulated. Now, 2 more things we got to go over. One, I want to show you the app associated with this and the things you can do in that app. And 2, I want to show you the comparison right now with the Chinese version. So those of you who have this one can follow along and see the English matching between the 2 of them, and also look at the firmware updates that have happened on this one that haven't happened yet on this one. I don't know if I have double tap active here. Guess not. So I'm going to have to push the button to come into here. And I'm going to bring us over to the left. And here I should just double tap and bring to the left. So there you go. This is what it says. Sports, with the first one being run and then walk. And then run indoor is that one. Followed by bicycling you have on this one. You don't have bicycling yet on the English version. You also have that. Looks like a treadmill or something. Then you have the trail run. You have your activities, and you have your settings, and then we have something else here that looks like it's a stopwatch or something. Oh, you know what? I think this was your achievements. If I can get it to go. Better bring it all the way up. This was something they were doing initially where you would get awards when you would hit these different achievement levels. It looks like they have either taken that out or it's not yet added to the PACE, the English version. But you do have your settings, and inside the settings, you have the lap alarm capability, and this has got what looks like a microphone, not sure what that is, but there's your heart rate alarm. Hard to watch the watches and the camera. I'm sorry if I'm drifting off of focus for you. You got your target time, target distance. You see, if you learn the icons, you pretty much can work yourself around this. Pace alert. Data screens. This is where we change the data screens to 4 or 6. And something else, which is that one. What does it do? Nothing. Oh, it's cycling on and off or something down at the bottom. You see it's changing, but it doesn't take you to a sub-menu. But this took you to the 4 screens or 6 screens like we had before. Okay, so that's all of the information here on that left panel. Then you got your watch face. Then over here, you've got your, this looks like heart rate on this one, you go into your steps. Here, you go step second and heart rate. So they're backwards in how they're displayed. You have your music player. Then you have this one, which on this watch is for payment. This is got an NFC, I believe, in it, so that you can use a payment process in China. We don't have that on the English version. You have your alarms. Here we've got the weather forecast, and then we go to the compass. Oh, now you get to see the calibration. I was telling you about this. I got to roll it around like a little ball, and it'll eventually, and maybe I should move that other way. There we go. Then you get the compass for both of them. And here we've got the stopwatch. And you can see down at the bottom, it's lap and stop. Then we've got the sleep. And it says no sleep detected. You tap on it and there's no history. That's too bad because I slept with it last night. I was hoping I'd show you guys some sleep history. Uh-oh. But we don't have any. There's a check mark for something. I'm not sure what. What is that one? That was after the stopwatch. So there's something else here after the stopwatch before we actually got to the sleep history, right? There's that. Then there's that, which goes to that, which I don't have translation on. Then it goes to the sleep history or sleep report, of which we don't have any history. And that's the last one. And I go into my battery life, information, silent mode, and then more settings. On this one, when I swipe down from the home screen, there we go, I get this page, which is totally different. Look at this now. We have airplane mode, which we didn't have before. I didn't know you needed to put this in airplane mode. But the Chinese version has airplane mode. Then it has the silent mode. So you'll silence your notifications. Then it has the brightness for the light. You can have it always on, auto, or I'm pretty sure off. That's got like a half a thing. And then there's totally off. And it's, of course, telling you what mode you're getting into there. That's auto. That seems to be always on. And then you get to the settings tab. So that's how you get into all of that stuff. Find my phone. At least you'll get to see what they are. Bluetooth, that's obvious. Wi-Fi. Silent time. This is where you set the time that you want it to be silent. Your backlight information. Tap to wake, we talked about that. Vibration, the strength of your vibration. Your wear habit, left arm or right arm. This has airplane mode now on it here. You see, that's different. And then there's the update, which we're going to check last here. Then there's a factory reset, the power off, about, and then you can report an error. Well, there's something else here. Whoops, I just touched it. Where's it going into? I have no idea. If you guys have translation and want to read that, that'll tell you. Okay. And then there's, that's to report the error. So what we're going to do now is let's take a look at the information on both of these. Double tap and look at information about. It's an Amazfit. There's the model numbers, the ROM version. Notice this is 1.3.0 N. This is 1.2.9. That's the serial number, it looks like. That's the total storage. Okay, free storage. and your Bluetooth and WLAN and all that kind of stuff, and then legal information. Okay, let's go back and let's do the up arrow. I always look for that on this one, and now I know what it means is update. This is how we check for firmware update. It's going to spin for a little while. This says it has the latest version running, so no update on the English version. And it basically says the same thing because you'll get two buttons here, and the check mark is just acknowledging, okay, there's no update. All right, so that's pretty much the information and comparison between the two. There's a few different features on here on the Chinese version that we don't see on the English version, but this has been out for quite a while now, so it may be catch-up time for this one. All right, we have one more thing, and that's to really take a look at the interfacing app for the PACE. It's a little different than it is for the Chinese version. There's a few more apps that are capable to run with this one, but I think that's going to happen on this one as well. So let's take a look at the app. Okay, when you start looking at the apps, you're getting into the real difference between the English and Chinese version, and I'm really starting to see now why they're released differently. One, you have the NFC chip for payment in China, which you don't have here, apparently, in the English version. But when you get into the apps, well, it's a whole different world. The Chinese one, oh, look at that. It's giving me my sedentary reminder. Time to stand up. You've been sitting for a long time. Let's stand up. Okay. But we got this to do. You probably use this Amazfit and this Amazfit app for the interface with the Chinese watch. That's, if you watch the review we did on the Amazfit Chinese version, you'll see those apps were in use. This is the updated English version of the Amazfit Watch app. There's a Chinese version as well, and in order to do data accumulation of what's in your watch, transfer it out so that you can use it in the phone, it's a complex process. In the show notes, I'm going to have a link to a video a person has done to explain how to do that, plus all the descriptors on how to make the connections so you can see your data beyond just what you see on the watch. Way more than what we can do in this video. For now, I want to show you that the app that you're going to download, and I don't think you need to scan the barcode or the QR code that comes up initially to download the app. You just go to the Google Play Store and look for Amazfit Watch and download the Amazfit Watch app, okay? When you get it and you have it installed, it's going to be not connected, and your watch is going to have a barcode on it. The barcode or QR code that you see is specific for this device, and when you try to connect it, we get a little screen with the camera activated that you point at the watch, and then that will allow you to pair the two. Once it's paired, it's going to say connected, and then you can view the details. It's telling me right now I have 48% battery on here, and the basic stuff, and I can unpair it if I want. If I unpair it, it's like a factory restore. It's going to archive the data that was on the watch, it appears. It syncs that, and then it completely restarts the watch and comes back with just the barcode. You can't even use this as a watch. It has to be paired to an app in a phone somewhere. Otherwise, you don't have just a nice, pretty trans-reflective screen watch. It won't go past that barcode. That's a real limitation, but I guess they're doing that to make sure you have it connected. Once you have it connected, you have these different areas on here. We're on a device and we have applications, back and forth, and then you have these sections. So let's look at the sections. First one is watch faces. You see the watch face we have on here right now is this one. You have access to all these other watch faces simply by touching it, and it's going to transfer it over here. Yeah, let's get back out of here to the watch faces. There you go. Now, an interesting drawback that I'm finding is, as nice as this is with the English application and all of the ability to use imperial data, feet and miles, see it's in miles and all of that, is we don't have many of these that actually have the AM, PM type of indicators. This one does, but the one we had on before you saw is, we did it in the afternoon, is in 24-hour time. So I'd like to see more of these actually show up with the AM, PM indicator information. See, if you don't see an AM, PM, it means you're going to be in 24-hour mode. And you just simply pick the ones that you like just by touching, and it'll install that particular watch face. You only have one. You can't switch them on the fly, and you can install them only from the app in the phone. Okay? And that's the selection that you have to go through right there. You have an analog one if you like, that kind of a display. Just a simple one here. Just the time. Okay? So you have lots of capability, but limited numbers that you can go through. So I'm going to go back to that one. Something different, but that's the one that has the AM, PM indicator on it. I'm going to run with that for a while. You have your activity sync. It tells you the last time your data was sunk, sanked up. 9 o'clock, I'm going to touch it, and it immediately updated it 10:53. Now, that means you have a synchronization between the data here and here. But you can't look at your data. This is just sort of an organizing management app for your watch. In order to look at your data, this is where these things really diverge. You have to go to Strava and set up an account in Strava, which is currently down, it appears. I haven't been able to get anywhere. And it will transfer the data from the watch through this app to Strava, and then you can manage your data there. That's a different video if I ever get to it, but that's apparently what you're going to need to do. The other one, the Chinese version, uses that My app for doing all of that activity sync stuff. Push notifications, you can turn on or off, and if you have it on, you can go into the complete list of all of your apps that you have installed and select which ones you want to send push notifications to the watch. You can disallow all of them if you want to, or you can select them one by one, whatever you want to have send. Okay? Once you disallow them all, you've got to go through and manually put them back. You can't just have them restore. And there's not a button to select all. So there's better implementations, but this one works. You can set up your notifications. And then you have system permissions, the notification read permission you have to set up, and then your contacts, if you want the watch to read your contacts, is done through here. And then you have a help section. Now, before we go any further on that, there was one thing I wanted to show you, but I'm not sure where it was. Oh, okay, up here. There's your personal account information that you set up. And you have your units where you can set those, metric or imperial, feedback, version update, about, and you can log out from here. This is fun. Test notifications. This shows you the notifications that will be sent to your watch if you have a low battery. Okay, battery is low. Or an incoming call reminder shows up like this, where you can reject the call if you want, or what was the other one? Mute it, I guess. There's the stand-up reminder. We saw that one already, asking me to stand up. Your daily activity goals. You've reached your goal, and of course you can set your goal in here. I've got it set for 8,000 steps. And then a daily weather alert. Tells you today's weather. Okay, those all appear as alerts in here. And if you remember, there we go. You get your alerts by swiping up. And there they all are against the color background. And I believe you can just dismiss them like that. So that shows you sort of what your notifications will look like when they come to the watch. And it's a test to make sure that everything is working. That was from tapping up here. So we've done all of this. We've done that and that and that. We haven't gone into help yet. Over here, you have all of your applications. These are the apps that are on here, and you can activate or deactivate any of them you want. So, for example, here's the heart rate, oops, music, alarm, well, okay, all that stuff. So, let's say I want to get rid of the alarms. Let's be back on here, and let's turn off alarms. The app will be hidden. Close. And now, at this point, I should not have alarms. And they're gone. Okay? So that's simply a thing that you can do there. And many of the different push updates have been adding these different apps to the watch. So you can expect more of that to be coming too. Your sports allows you, remember when we saw all those displays I was showing you forever? Well, this is where you can actually rearrange the order of those that will display in the different tabs. This is for run, and this is the order. You just simply grab one and move it, hold it and move it. Hello? There, see you can move it around. That's for your run tab, your walking, your run indoor, there's your trail run, and all of those things you can move around. So you can see them in different ways when you see the data on the watch. And weather, it shows you where you are, what units you want, and whether you want reminders or not. Okay, that's everything about applications, everything about device, except for help. And when you go into help, it's taking you to a web-based thing where you can get your basics, viewing your profile, charging your device, all sorts of help information. There's robust help on the web as well, and I'll have links in the show notes to all of that information. So you can get into the help section, learn a whole lot more about this device. I mean, this is really robust help. This is nice. The things that are missing that I'm not too happy about at this point are the ability to easily transfer all of the data that's in the watch out of the watch and into an app that you can actually use. It's a complex process right now. It should definitely get easier, and I'm hoping that that will come along soon. Backlight. What I did to make it work, instead of always on, I set it for unlocked only. Now, if it's in unlocked only, there, it's locked and it's off. So it will only light up if I turn it on, and I can't turn it on by swiping it, only by double tapping it. So I found it really easy. The double tap at night will light it up, and you can read the time or check something if you want to, and in a couple of seconds it goes off. But other than that, it's not coming on every time you roll over in bed. So just a little way you could do it. And then during the daytime, it'd be real easy to just turn it back to always on or auto. Okay. Wow, we've covered a lot. By way of summary, this is a fitness watch above all others. It has so many capabilities. It's really worth checking out. One of the features I really like a lot is the ability to set an upper limit for your heart rate, and you can exercise up to your threshold and just bounce in and out of having yourself anaerobic, but stay right within your zone. That is a nice feature. It accumulates some really good data, has onboard GPS. It's in English now. It's a solidly constructed, really good-looking device. It has removable bands, and It's available now. So here's how you get it. This Amazfit PACE trans-reflective screen sports watch comes to us from Geekbuying. We really appreciate their support in bringing this through. It's been a long, hard road to get this one. Where's that matching one? There we go. Match the picture. But it's here. It's here. You're looking at it live right now. And check the show notes down below. We will have the purchasing link that'll take you right to this page. You can pick this up, monitor the price. It'll be changing from time to time. If we get coupons and buying discounts, we'll definitely put those down in the show notes as well. In the meantime, it is available. It is now available, and it's right there for you to give a try. Really amazing and nice watch. We'll see you again soon. Appreciate your subscription and keeping us going here on Smartwatch Ticks.